actually. And that's where the idea for this conversation came from. All right. So the person talked about a post they saw on WhatsApp. So I'm just going to read what he posted. So he says, I just saw the WhatsApp status of someone who is always complaining about his boss, celebrating his boss's birthday with happy birthday mentor and some Ojuaye sentences. And then he went on to say, one thing I hate about workplaces in Nigeria is the presence of too much eye service. If a boss is not treating us well, you will never see me celebrating his birthday on my status, giggling with him, or showing him love. He will know in my speech and actions. He will understand it is strictly business and go home. One reason people don't get what they deserve from a particular job is because you all act towards your bosses like they're treating you well when they are not. Wow. So that's what he said. And then a lot of people actually came under that particular tweet to say a lot of other things. And someone talked about how a friend of his suffered stagnancy in an organization because he would not, do the whole eye service thing or people pleasing thing, before the boss, for his direct boss. Some people call it leaking blab. Yeah, you fill in the blank space. And then so he says that the boss told him plainly that a promotion round was coming up, but he would not recommend him. Why? Because, you're not showing that you know what's up. You're being the straightforward, whatever. I can't remember the word I want to use, but you know what I mean, right? So another person was like, hey, you better learn the act of diplomacy. All these doggedness isn't all that, especially in a place like Nigeria. You have to lobby. You have to do certain things, You have to prostrate where need be, whether you like the person or not. And so it also brings to mind the idea of authenticity versus pretense, right? So authenticity is something that is always appreciated, right? People always appreciate that over pretense. Anytime, any day. I mean, be your authentic self. Don't try to lick anybody's shoes. Don't try to, be nice to people when you know you're not feeling them. But what if what a person calls authenticity, being authentic, is then perceived as disrespect? But hey, the question I'm asking, it's part of the questions anyway, but the basic question, you can get on Facebook, get on social media anyway, and you'll join the conversation there. The basic question I'm asking is, what is your opinion on the difference between diplomacy and eye service? I want to know what your opinion is on that. And then second of all, have you ever had to deploy diplomacy or eye service for personal gain at work? All right, let's talk. The numbers to call 0002. What opinion, what diplomacy is as against eye service? I want you to give me what's the difference between them. All right, that's what I'm asking you. Please stay on the line, introduce yourself, tell them where you're calling from, and then patch through into the studio. Thank you. Okay, so I'm seeing a message here on WhatsApp. Dave says, good afternoon, my air lady. Welcome to the sunny side. Bring back our water prompt. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dave. Okay. So I'm looking through the, some of the comments that people posted there. And one person goes, what concerns me about my boss's birthday? If you are a wicked boss, I will let you know through my actions, even if I cannot confront you. So in this kind of situation, What is diplomacy? And what would you say is eye service? Well, the phone lines are good. I see you calling in and dropping the lines. We have a call screener. When you call and you do not hear my voice at first, stay on the line. All right? Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Thank you. Stay on the line. You're not calling the wrong number. You know how people be. When you hear a voice that's different from the one you're hearing on the radio, you'll be like, who am I calling like this? Don't worry. You're on the right track. Just stay on the line. Thank you. The numbers again, 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0007 and 0817 923 0002. We're taking messages. You can send them via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. All right, we have Heart calling from NTA Road. Hello, Heart.
No.
Hi, Heart.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes. Okay. The question is how to manage to differentiate eye service and diplomacy.
Yes.
Eye service in a workplace is something that you are doing in order to get favor. And even when it's against your own will, even if it's against your own capacity as an individual, but you just have to go out there just to do it. And in your mind, you are complaining, you are murmuring, but yet you just have to do it with your motive of getting something, maybe a praise, an award to say, okay, this person is faithful, this person is hardworking. But diplomacy in terms of your place of work is something that every cultured employee has to adapt in interfacing with your boss, or else they will sack. They have to show you the door out of the office.
Okay, so have you been in a situation where perhaps you had to either use diplomacy or eye service?
I didn't get it, you said?
I'm asking. I need a personal kind of experience. Have you had any personal experience?
Yes, I have. You think I can do it as a person based on your strength or one or two challenges you can do it. By the time you approach him and say, sir, please, I can't do this. He will just say, okay, there's no problem. You approach him, you understand. But I also work with somebody that even when you are sick, they are seeing the sickness all over you. They still want you to do their job. They will tell you that you are being paid. So, therefore, you must work out your life.
Okay, Heart. Thank you very much for calling. Mr. Zion, welcome.
Yeah. Constance.
Hello.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you.
You see, the issue of the diplomacy, normally, that is who you should be in your place of work, in your church, organization, market, and everywhere. You must be diplomatic. It's accepted and it's acceptable. Cautious act. Make sure there is peace, make sure there is tranquility, everything is done accordingly, you are on time, your processes are right, you dot the I's and you cross the T's. For the benefit, underline that word, because you are acceptable. Now, for the one of eye service, you are doing it to spite on others. Let them see you that you are the one that is doing everything. Let Oga recognize you. And you see this particular habit in Nigerian police. Oh, God. Nigerian police and eye service. Yeah. Make Oga just come now. Now you go know say. Everybody attitude will just become so irritating. Some environment, even in civil service too, civil service commission, all these places, you see eye service. Make Oga know say na me they carry the food. Make Oga know say na me they answer question. Make Oga know say, make Oga wife see me. Make Oga wife because some even went too close to Oga children. Come and watch on a close corner eye service because they're looking for something.
But then, Mr. Zion,
on top.
So here's what I'm also thinking, right? You know, sometimes we might say that people are advised to go to the extra mile, right? And then at other times, we might also say this person is too ambitious. So how do you now differentiate between someone who is just trying to go the extra mile so that at least they will, who doesn't want to have a good place in the heart of Oga? And then someone who is...
Constance,
yes,
in
please.
the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and 6, read it and see the difference. It's also in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 22. You see, when that act now becomes so excessive, not to have a definition of irritability, or not to have that kind of notice meeting, that is okay. But when it becomes as if you are the only one, okay, let me narrow you to a video clip of recent when that issue of bullying happened in this school. That's the Abuja school. You remember that big event, right?
Yeah.
When that girl was bullied. When the commission, so the Minister of Education and other dignitaries came in, and the lady asked a question, I think that should be the Minister of Education, where is the other boy that was involved? Only this one question the woman asked. Did you see the number of answers that came in? Everybody was answering. He was not there. He was on an eye service. Everybody was. Where is the service?
You call him Mr. Diane. All right, we have Uche from NTA Road. Hello, Uche.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for staying on the line.
For me, both eye service and diplomacy, they are not the same thing. Because most times, even some people call it office politics.
Office politics, yes.
Yeah, so for me, they are all the same. Because in most cases, when you try to be real at office place, the fact for you to progress is very, very difficult. Most offices hate a very real human being, employee. They hate it to the core. You need to lie. Even when you do something wrong, you cannot even say it. Even when you have issue with somebody, it is the other person who even say the truth, because they don't want to be in the blacklist of the boss or anywhere. You see somebody that you know too well that should be able to say this thing was wrong, this thing is wrong. I saw it happening. If you see the person come to you and tell you to understand, I shouldn't say it like this. You should understand. So when you need for the person to testify, the person will say a different thing altogether. So it's very, very difficult. And most bosses like people like that that live an unrealistic life. So that's my take on this.
Okay.
It's very pathetic. It's very difficult for you to live a normal life.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. From when he was talking, right? I was just thinking about what some people call being truthful. In trying to be truthful, honest, I'm a very straightforward person. I say it as it is. In trying to be like that, sometimes you actually spoil something. Yeah. Because, yes, you saw what happened, right? But at the end of the day, it is actually the part you saw that you saw. You didn't see everything. Sometimes you don't really have the entire picture. And in trying to say things the way you think you have seen it, it is the way you have seen it, that's what it is. You might get into trouble. So Mr. Zion says eye service is when people are overdoing it. And so I was just wondering, so we tell people, go the extra mile, right? If you're told to do 1, do 2, do 3. So that they can see that, yeah, you're ready for this job. So how can someone who, especially for someone who just got a job, right? You're the new guy in this place where others have been for a very long time. They know the system. They know their way around the system. But you're the new guy. And you're coming with this enthusiasm. You want to show working. But every other person is seeing you as, I beg, that one, they overdo it, too do. Calm down, you too do. So how else should someone who just came on board actually show that they made no mistake hiring you, right? Without also getting into the wrong book of every other person in the office. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to communicate with the people that you're working with. Interpersonal relationship is very, very important. You have to also be a team player. So in being a team player, you want things to be done in the way that's maybe by the books, the way that you've been taught that it should be done. But the people who have been in the system for a while, they know other ways to do it. And perhaps you're not having, you feel like this, their pattern, it's not it. And then in your magnanimity and goodness of heart, out of, someone would say it's Chinwe and Charity, out of your good heart, you want to tell the boss what it is exactly, how things actually happened, to say everything exactly the way it is. And some people might say, eye service. So how do you deploy diplomacy in that kind of situation? And then another question I'm actually asking is, for one of the responses to that tweet, someone was like, if my boss is not a nice person, I will show it in everything. You will know that I do not like you. And so I want to know, is it wise to show that you don't like your boss? Now, even if this boss is known to be evil, so is it wise really to show that you don't like your boss? Now, if you say it's not wise, so what then is eye service in this kind of situation? All right, I still want to hear from you. You can put a call through. The phone lines are good, so let's hear from you. 0817-923-0002. For WhatsApp messages, you can send them to 0809-030-6416. Dave says, my opinion on this, your wonderful topic, is that eye service is when you do things to please your boss, especially when he or she is around. Immediately he or she steps out, you turn away from the task. And diplomacy is when you do the right thing whenever, wherever, not minding if your boss is taking note or not. I go for diplomacy because it's ethical. We'll look up the meaning of diplomacy anyway. Diplomacy and eye service are targeted at achieving personal goals, but the right word for both is referred to as office politics. To play along with the right authority, I mean the decision-making body. Thanks. Interesting. What's your name? You didn't give me a name. So usually that's what you hear, office politics. And so there are times when it's diplomacy you have to deploy to be in the good books, or to be on the right side. And at other times, it's eye service. Or someone might say you're the one who is deploying eye service, but for you, you're just being there's this thing they tell people, you're just being ambitious. Yes, exactly. Some people say you're being over ambitious, but you're just trying to stay ahead, push forward. If it means that if a guy is always seeing that you're the one who is train working, I mean, anytime he's around, he can see that you're the one who is train working, and that's gonna get you the promotion. Sometimes you hear people murmur about how the person who got the raise or the promotion is not even the best, but because he knows how to act when a guy is around or when the boss is around, he likes to just show himself. He's doing eye service. Even the one that did not ask him, he want to come and show that he knows it. But if someone decides to be ambitious, is it a wrong thing as well? Okabwon Dubisi Onyemechi. All right, thank you very much for your message there. Who else is this? Chief Obu Owin. Is it Obu Owin or Obu Owin? Eye service is when you do something the way you normally don't do it because superior officers are around, with the intention of making them think that you are better in doing that thing than others. Diplomacy is simply knowing what to do and when to do it with the intention of avoiding trouble for yourself. Chief Obu Owin. All right. Okay. So how about you? What is it for you? What's your opinion on the difference between diplomacy and eye service in the workplace? All right, and of course, in the course of this conversation or conversations like this, authenticity, pretense, office politics, those words actually come up. Ambition, what else now? Hardworking, right? So yeah, diplomacy. How much is too much? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. All right, so diplomacy in the workplace. The art. Remember I said that both are an art, you know, diplomacy and eye service. I mean, it takes a level of understanding when to move or move in to actually know what to deploy. You know, sometimes when you come across people who are always doing the eye service, you be like, Omo, like, how do you do this thing? Especially those ones who would, at the end of the day, they will act like they like the boss, but behind the boss, they're saying some really nasty stuff. Or when they are in front of the boss, when they are there with the boss, you'd be like, how do people live? So yeah, I was going to read out what diplomacy in the workplace refers to, right? It's the art of handling situations tactfully. Tactfully. Then eye service, which some people also call lip service, involves superficial actions or behaviors. And it's aimed at pleasing others or gaining favor. But what makes it bad is that there is no genuine commitment or sincerity. Chiagozie says, Mega City, good day. What's the gist? You're from where? All right, get on Facebook, all right, so that you can also join the conversation there. Thank you. Mr. Zion says, eye service people are always sick when the boss of the organization is not around. Oh my God. But they come alive when the boss is on seat. Eye service people can even set up their colleagues in the organization just to grab unnecessary attention and sympathy from the management. They are very dangerous set of people. Okay, Mr. Zion. Hello, Ida from Nkoro. Good afternoon.
Good morning, mega morning. Good afternoon, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Yes, eye service is not good. Most times we do eye service to come out the medicine. And I'm telling you that when they come out a colleague from office, because of the eye service, you add that person's salary to your salary. When we see our bosses, we want to please the bosses. When he's not there, you just because him just doing all sorts of things. But once you see his car, to clean the table, you want to do this, you want to do this to oppress the other person. So eye service is not good. But when they sack the other person, that salary of that person will not add their own salary. And you made the person to suffer. And the punishment will wait for you to front. So you should not do eye service.
Okay, Ida, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, if you have a boss who is not a nice person, would you let the boss see it that, Oga, myself, I know say you know be good man, and you show it in your actions? Or would you, tolerate?
If I have a boss who is not a nice person,
yes.
If I don't want to work if that work is not pleasing me, I will leave that work to look for another work and to work with that person. I will not work with somebody that is not nice to me, so that I will not use that anger to work with that person. I will leave the person to look for another work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for calling Ida from Nkoro. So someone who has learned how to navigate through the hurdles of working with, quote, an evil boss or a wicked boss, right? Some people might say the person is doing eye service. You self, you know, say this man, everybody know. Why you being like this? Why you say just want me to notice you? But then is it wise to show your boss that you don't like them? I don't like you. It's strictly business. I'm not gonna smile at you if it's your birthday. Like, I'm not your mother, not your father, I'm not your brother, I'm not your sister. Like, I did not come to this world to be doing happy birthday to you. Okay. So are you gonna show the boss that it is strictly business? Alright? I don't care if you're celebrating your anniversary or whatever. I don't care. I just want to do my job and go home. So far that I'm doing my work. Okay. So because we're doing well. You know, there are people who would tell you that it depends on where you're working. You've not met some kind of bosses. That's why I'm saying eye service is evil. Eye service is bad. When you work with some kind of human beings, it's politics. I mean, when you get to Rome, you're like the Romans, right? So if you find yourself in a straight words, like it's not about than anybody. I'm not going to, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it. It's there. I'll be doing what I'm doing. But really, I'm really not people like that. So we'll go on a quick break, and then when we come back, I'm still taking your calls and of course your messages. All right. So the numbers again, or the number for your WhatsApp messages is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. We're discussing diplomacy versus eye service, and I'm asking you, what is your opinion on the difference between diplomacy and eye service? And then is it wise to show that you don't like your boss? Let this boss see that I don't like you. Is it a wise thing to do? All right, so we'll talk when I return. Just stay tuned.
This